Hey photographers, how are you? I'm kind of excited. I'm in the YouTube Toronto studio and some friends are dropping by to mark my 5th anniversary on YouTube and share some tips with you. Now, I posted my first review 5 years ago, December 2012. One of my first videos was a tour of art on Toronto's subway station. It's one of my least popular videos. I think it's kind of fun. You may enjoy it. You'll find the link below. And so perfect that YouTube provided this set. Behind the camera today, as he's been since we were in high school together, is my friend Doug.
Hey man, we gotta stop meeting this way.
Check it out. Isn't this the coolest thing? There's a stairway to enter and leave the station. There's a newsstand that we already used for a video last month, hallway and platform area, and the inside of a train. But let me start by saying that this studio was not always a subway, and this building has not always been a studio. I'm going to acknowledge that we are on the treaty lands of the Mississaugas of the New Credit, and also to acknowledge the Anishinaabe, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples who also shared these lands. So, Doug, what's your tip? What's the advice you give to photographers?
Well, shooting with digital allows you to use a lot of different settings, try different exposures, angles, different effects, and experimenting with your camera settings allows you to unleash, I think, the inner creativity within yourself, and the results can be very interesting, sometimes surprising. It's not like back in the day when you used to have every photo developed. You waited days, sometimes weeks, to get the result, so you didn't experiment as much, and now you can do that.
Right, great. And you know, for all the experimenting that we've done, I'm very grateful. It's been great to be friends with you. It's been great to have you assist in my videos. It's let's keep meeting this way.
Deal.
Well, I'm not sure what I thought 5 years ago, what my expectations or hopes were. At first, I thought I'd do videos about travel, about cycling, and about technology, but I quickly learned that what you're interested in, for me anyway, is cameras. And I'm good with that. I like them too. They're fun to learn. They're very visual, so they make great subjects for video. And there are more cameras around than I can possibly get to, so I get to be choosy and just do the ones that really interest me. But I do consider myself a reviewer, not a photographer, so I've frequently teamed up with a photographer to help me understand and to improve my skills. Oh, hey, Jeff, nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
Hi. Jeff Clark led the design team at Bell, where we worked together to create interactive applications. He's a talented photographer and a brilliant Photoshop guru. Jeff, you must get asked for photo advice all the time, like I do. What do you tell your friends?
All the time, people come to me and they ask me, you know, Jeff, what camera should I buy? They'll come with me with a couple of options. Is this camera better than this one? The reality is there's no such thing as a bad camera or a bad SLR or a bad lens. You buy what you can afford. You work with it. You learn its limits. You learn what it's good at. You know, you can use a $50 lens. You can use a $2,000 lens. And especially if you're an amateur, they're going to do you equally well. Right. And just have fun with it.
And that's the basic principle of photography. Have some fun with it.
That's my principle anyway.
Right, good. That sounds like great advice.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. In 5 years, my most popular video, with over 225,000 plays, is my review of the Sony a6000. And it remains popular. I finally got around to doing a best video settings video for it in June of this year, and it's in my top 10 videos of 2017. The Nikon D7200 from 2 years ago isn't far behind. Hi, Paul.
Hi, Martin.
When I was a freelance writer for the Toronto Star, it was Paul Marshman who decided which cameras the Star should review. Now, you've seen Paul in several videos. He and I remained friends, even when the Star lost interest in technology articles. So Paul's now the traveling boomer and has a website dedicated to travel for people in our demographic. But Paul, you've shot with a lot of cameras, taken a lot of pictures. What advice do you give to photographers?
Well, let me start by telling you a story, Martin. I was shooting the other day with a friend of mine, and I borrowed her camera to take a couple of shots. When I looked at them, they were completely white. So I took a look at her settings. It was the middle of the day, and she was shooting at ISO 3200. She'd been shooting at night, she forgot to change the settings back, and all the pictures were ruined. So here's my tip. Check your settings.
Right.
Wherever you go and whatever you're shooting, continue to check your settings all the time. You know, the problem is we're always shooting in changeable conditions. highlight, low light, maybe sometimes when you want to slow the action or blur the motion. And every one of those situations takes different settings. So then what happens? We go on to the next photo op, we grab our camera, we start shooting, and all the pictures turn out either blurred or they're so white that people look like ghosts.
Right.
So here's my tip. Check your settings. Wherever you go and whatever you're shooting, check your settings. Whenever you turn on your camera, check your settings. Whenever you change positions, check your settings. And if you use a scene mode, or let's say you change your camera to under or overexpose, change it back immediately, or you're going to be shooting with those settings all day long.
Good tip. Thank you.
And then finally, let me congratulate you, Maarten, on 5 years of Maartech. You turn out some of the best and most authoritative camera reviews on the net, so happy anniversary.
That's very kind. Thank you so much, Bob. Thanks. Now, I'm sometimes asked what my goals are, and they're pretty simple. My goal is to figure out how things work, how useful they are, and to share that information with you in a video, and I really enjoy what I'm doing. The views, the subscriptions, the revenue from AdSense are also nice, but honestly, this isn't about the money. And it's not really about the money for any of the people who assist me. There's not really enough revenue from Google AdWords for me to do much more than to take the team out for lunch once in a while. Now, SONAM approached me last year and offered to work with me, and I've truly appreciated that. Now, SONAM, you spend a lot of time behind the camera, putting the lights in the right place. What's the secret to getting a good shot of someone in a video, like me?
So Maarten, you probably want to focus on the framing in the beginning. Put your subject in a place where you can grab the attention. Second thing you want to focus is the lenses. Now in this shot, I use the telephoto end of the lens, so I can create some depth, and it's also usually flattering to the facial features.
Thank you.
And lighting, you probably want to light your main subject in a way so you can grab the attention and nothing else.
That's great. Thanks so much for your assistance. It is a nice shot. Thanks.
You're welcome.
This channel now has 30,000 subscribers, although for the first 4 years I didn't even bother to ask you to subscribe. So thanks. I appreciate your support. Producing videos is certainly more rewarding knowing you're watching and commenting. Other creators think it's crazy to answer all the comments. I think it's crazy not to. Every day has a few minutes where I can answer a few questions or say thanks for your kind words. Now, I've been in the TV and video business longer than I care to share. I started at City TV in Toronto, where I first met Ricky GLINERT, and then we both worked at TV Ontario. And Ricky's been directing my videos from the earliest independent productions until today. So, Ricky, you're behind the camera a lot. What advice do you give to video producers and directors?
Remember that you are the producer and the director, that you are the person who's responsible for that shot, and you decide what's in that shot. You know, we have a tendency to focus on what the major action is, but we forget about all the things that are extraneous going on in the background. When you were interviewing Paul, I deliberately sat here in the back of this train on purpose so that there would be something there that shouldn't be there and would be a distraction.
I was happy to have you there, Ricky.
Well, thank you, but it could be distracting to your viewers to have someone else there and wondering what that person is doing. So you decide what's there. If you're going to shoot in something like a subway train, see who's in the background, and if you don't want them there, then move your camera. You can't necessarily ask other people to move. But if you're shooting outdoors or someplace and there are leaves falling or tree branches, you can move a lot of the branches, you can shoot in a slightly different place, and make sure there are no kids or animals in the background.
Unless, of course,
you want them there.
That's great advice. Ricky, thanks so much. Now, in 5 years, I've had a lot of help from a lot of people. But my support team is really anchored by my friend, my model, my assistant, my partner, Kim, who's been at my side for over 35 years. I could not do this without her. So, sweetie, what advice do you have for my viewers?
Digital photography, with their digital cameras that we have these days, have really exposed so many people to photography who may never have picked up a camera before, which is great. And we can share those so easily on our iPhones, iPads, computer screens, and TV screens. But my tip is, let's go back to those old photo albums. Why not print some of those pictures? You could put them in a book, you could put them in a calendar. We've made lots of calendars, which we really enjoy, looking at the photos months to come. And for some of our holidays, we've made a lot of photo books. They come in many different sizes. They can come in paperback or hardcover, and we love to see them later and enjoy them with our friends.
I agree. We do love to look at our photos. Thanks for the tip. Now here's my tip. Be ready. And I learned this from Baden Powell. He actually said, be prepared. Keep your battery charged. Make sure your SD card has lots of free space. Remove the lens cap. Turn the power on. Shoot a lot. And when you look at your photos, think about what works and what doesn't, so you can be better next time. Bring energy. Be positive. Have fun. Now, I hope this helps. Thanks for watching. I do appreciate your support. And if you've watched this far, you could only be a loyal viewer, so thanks. If you'd like a personal postcard from me, send me a direct message. The link is in the description. I'll send you a postcard from Toronto or some equally exotic destination. Now remember to keep shooting until your battery is empty and your memory card is full. And please click that like button, questions and comments below. I do reply to all relevant questions and civil comments. If you have one more click, there's the subscribe button.
Did you hear when I hit the post? Did you hear?
Yeah, I think I might have. I wasn't sure what it was.
Yeah.